And really helped him on the second half of the season.
I did it with Michael last night. He was proud to be able to present this golden hat. Red River belongs to Texas for the second consecutive year, knocking off their unbeaten arch rivals 23-6.
Third down and 10. Oh, it is intercepted. Intercepted by Alabama, Dijon Lee. And that will do it.
Green's going to try to run the clock out here. Lucian Anderson's going to take it. Lucian Anderson in the end zone. 3, 2, 1. Lucian Anderson will take a safety, and this game is over. Bowling Green wins over Toledo. They win the Battle of I-75 at Doyle Perry Stadium for the first time since 2019 and tie the all-time series.
They better use it right now. Dante Moore hit as he throws, and it's intercepted. And that is going to be the ball game. They're going to celebrate here in Eugene a little bit longer.
Think about this again. IU stays with their base defense. Those are their playmakers. They've got Fisher and Isaiah Jones in on the game on that play. They drop the other linebacker, and he makes the fundamental play.
Dante Moore had thrown only one interception all year.
Welcome back, y'all. You're listening to Victory Formation, the college football show. Today, we're bringing you Week 7's recap. Another fantastic weekend of college football. Just when you thought you've seen it all or haven't seen enough, this wonder of a sport we call college football brings you more than you can ask for. More than we can fit into an hour-long episode. And you may be asking yourself, Brandon, what are we doing? Let's get into it. If we got so much to talk about, we just need to get right into it. Well, we got more to talk about than just a recap tonight. Some very somber piano music for some of our coaches out there. Big name goes down, but we'll get into that in a few minutes. But I'm your host, Brandon, as always. And today joining me again, as always, is Jakey M. And that stands for Jakey Marathon. Half marathon, I should say. But still, incredible achievement. Jake, how'd that run go? Never got to talk to you about that.
Oh, boy. Well, I think I crossed the finish line and said, never again. That was the first two words that came out of my mouth. Miles 1 through 3 were miserable. You get to about mile 4, like 4 to 10's okay. 10, my body was hurting so bad. But I did it a little better than what I thought I was going to. I didn't train as enough as I should have. But we're going to have that. And I can say I did it, but never again.
Yeah. You say that now. Just give your body a couple weeks, and you'll be like, maybe I'll go for another one. And then eventually you'll be like, maybe I'll go for the full thing.
That will never happen.
Yeah.
The full thing will never happen.
You say that. But
I mean, I kind of would like to run a sub 2 hour because I was 2:10, just below a 10-minute pace.
Yeah.
I would like to get maybe like 8.5, 9-ish. That would be kind of nice, but
yeah. Awesome.
I just don't have the mental wherewithal to go even think about training right now. So
yeah. Did you run by yourself?
So I ran the first half with my sister, Whitney, and then I was feeling really good, and that was around the 6 mile mark. I kind of took off and went on my own for the rest of it, but it was fun. I got to train with her for the last couple of weeks too on our long run, so it's good seeing her, and she's the one that asked me to do it. So
sweet, very good. Congrats.
Yep. Congrats. Thank you very much.
So, as you know, recaps, how they work. We go over breaking news first, AP poll, then the one that matters, the VF poll, our own statistical, factual evidence behind them, called our opinions. And then we do the recaps of the 6 games we gave y'all, and then we're going to do additional ones, some that stood out more than others. And then we'll get into our players, coach, and uniform of the week, as always, to finish it. So let's kick off with the big one here. Breaking news. Longtime head coach at Penn State, James Franklin, has been fired. 11 years as a Nittany Lions leader. 2022 Rose Bowl champion, 2019 Cotton Bowl, 2-time Fiesta Bowl champion, 104-45 all-time record at Penn State. Spent an unusual amount of time thinking about this the last day and a half. honestly. I got a couple things to say about Jimmy here. So first off, I feel bad for him. Things are a little different this year for Penn State. You know, higher stakes, better team on paper. They had high hopes. They were one of two outright national title contenders that everyone was really expecting to pop off and finish through the year strong and peak in December. But that didn't happen, as we all know. Number two, he's a great guy. College football side, he's a family man. He's a player-first oriented coach, I would say. Very good recruiter. I'm sure those two first things I said had a lot to do with him recruiting. But just everyone, you know, he makes millions. He has millions of followers or haters, as some could say now. But at the end of the day, he's a human being like all the rest of us. We all, we all have feelings and emotions, and I'm sure he's probably going through a hell of a time right now because his whole world came crashing down on top of him in the last 2 weeks, 15 days. But
15 days, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
One thing I would like to put out there, $48 million on top of it kind of helps with a lot of the pain, I think.
oh yeah, for sure. I'd go on like a month-long vacation. Yeah.
He did tweet something, and don't quote me, but he's like, it was a great journey. Let's see what else is to come, basically. It sounds like he's in decent spirits. He probably knew it was coming after that game. And there's been some speculation on who's forcing who out and why, but I don't want to get into that because I don't want to spread anything false.
Right. Yeah. It's all, we don't want to get in. We don't want to have to be saying allegedly after everything we say. So
Yes.
yeah. Do I believe in what happens what happens inevitably must happen immediately? Yes. Did he see this coming? Probably. All the Penn State fans knew it. The AD at Penn State's great. You know, all the staff there, athletic department, they're great. I'm sure they tried to work with him through most of it. And, you know, everyone could see his record versus top 5, top 10 opponents. And they didn't want to delay it any longer. You might as well just, if it was going to happen inevitably, just get it out of the way. Just get it done. Let both of y'all move on in separate directions, whatever. You know, hard pill to swallow, but I do believe the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
It's not.
Especially with the coaching carousel we are going to have for the rest of the year. I mean, we've seen it already through the first 7 weeks of the season, but this coaching carousel this year is going to be unlike anything we've seen in a long time. You have Florida on the brink of probably discussing with Billy Napier a buyout. Wisconsin with Luke Fickell. I mean, there's reports of Michigan not too happy with Sharon Moore right now. There's a bunch, but it's going to get crazy. Florida State, Mike Norvell is in his 5th year. We thought they started off great, but it's kind of backfired a little bit. They're now 3-3. Started off 3-0 now. 3-3.
Yeah, rocky road, especially coming off of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they needed to have a really, really good year.
Yep. So who does Penn State get, Jake? Who do you go after? Who's your first or second, or who's in your top 3 phone calls right now, do you think? I mean,
My
there's a
top
big
three-
one. There's a big one.
Your top 3 phone calls. Anyone in the right mind, you're going after Kurt Signetti because that's the most realistic move that you can make. You're not going to get Ryan Day. You're not going to get Dan Lanning. You're not going to get Kirby. You're not going to get DeBoer now.
Right.
They're not going to leave those dominant programs to go to Penn State. The
Absolutely.
only other coach that is in... How do I want to put this? The only other coach that has proven himself to build a program rather quickly that is not at a top-tier program right now is Kirk Signetti.
Yep. 100%. Spent 20 years as a recruiter. He knows the ins and outs of recruiting. He said in the press conference, I think it was post game, or it was an interview earlier today, or Sunday night that he said he doesn't go after stars because, I mean, he knows more than me, but I'm just trying to relay what he said. Like, you see high schoolers, they're 17, 18-year-old kids. You don't know how they're going to progress. You don't know how they're going to grow. You don't know their future. You know, obviously getting a star, they have a better outlook on football, but when you spend 20 years, I think you kind of figure out what you're looking for in players, their attitude, their mindset, you know, what skills you're looking for in certain whatever position you're going after and stuff. So I'm sure there's things he's picked up on that most people won't and don't, and I think that's what makes him a great coach. So yeah, but regardless, I think Kurt's your first call. Whether he leaves Indiana, that's a whole separate subject, because they're willing to spend the money. It sounds like he's pretty heavily backed there in Bloomington.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
My second call, as much as I hate to say it,
Brian Hartline.
my second call, if I were Penn State, would be Brian Hartline.
Yeah.
He is the best recruiter in all of college football right now.
100%. 100%. That's not Ohio State bias.
No.
Go ahead.
It's not biased at all. If you look at the wide receivers he's brought in over the last 5 years, my goodness, 6 years, 7 years, however long he's been there.
Yeah.
I mean, the list is unreal. So, and then the way he can develop receivers, blah, 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 that's going to attract a lot of people. Do I think he goes? No. If he gets a call. But when you're talking about maybe a $5 million a year pay raise, it's going to be hard to say no.
Yep, absolutely. He's going to be a great head coach one day. This is probably the most unknown I've been about him right now in this position, because now he's advanced to calling plays as offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator for Ohio State. Not a offensive coordinator / positions player. He's now the offensive coordinator for Ohio State.
Yeah, and it's not like co-offensive coordinator. Like, he
Right.
is the man.
Yes, he's the lone guy there. And, you know, we heard a couple years ago, or over the last few years, that he got calls about getting lower tier positions, and he denied all the claims and stuff, but this is kind of a big one. And that's, you know, he's unproven, but so was Kirby Smart when he got his head coaching job. Unproven. Lane Kiffin was unproven. Sarkisian was unproven. DeBoer was unproven. Like, that's where you start. You got to start somewhere, and if you're not going to get the most popular guy in college football right now, Kurt Cignetti, that's willing to, or possibly is on a neutral field with his program because he's so new to it, you go after someone that's hot and fresh and young. So I think you're right. Second call, Brian Hartline.
Yes. My third call would be their old defensive coordinator, Manny Diaz, who is now the head coach at Duke. He knows the program in and out. He did a pretty decent job with Penn State, obviously. Won a lot of games with them. He can maybe bring that swagger back. If I'm Penn State, that's probably not my first option. And I'm probably a little disappointed you couldn't get Cignetti or Hartline.
Yep.
From there, CBS has Matt Rule listed. I don't think Matt Rule leaves Nebraska to go to Penn State, in all honesty. I think Nebraska is a storied program within itself, and he's building something there that I think could be really, really good in the long run.
Yeah, I agree.
And then after that, I would go Matt Campbell at Iowa State.
Yep.
He has proven he can win with lesser talent. If you give him the payroll of the NIL at Penn State, you could see a program boom.
Yeah.
With Matt Campbell as the ruler.
Yeah. And he takes off right where Franklin left off as being a good person off the field, doesn't get in trouble, does more with less. Kurt Signetti did more with less at James Madison. Now look where he's at. He's blowing up. He's viral right now in college football. Indiana looks like a national title contender.
They are. It's not that they look. They are a national title contender. And anyone who says anything different can kiss my white behind.
Yeah, you take Ohio State, and if they would have went to Oregon and beat them 30-10 handedly, score doesn't even show how strong of a grip Indiana had on that game. But if Ohio State did that, if Alabama, Georgia, if any of those top programs did that, we'd be saying, oh, they're clear-cut number one all day. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Why aren't we saying that about Indiana right now? So, yeah, I like it. I think all 5 of those guys would be on my short list if I was Penn State.
And real quick, shout out Matt Campbell, shout out Mount Union.
You love that connection. It's great. It's awesome he came from there.
It is cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So I think that wraps up our Penn State little episode there. But
I do want to say one thing real quick.
go ahead.
Very sorry for Drew Alar. He played his last football game in a Penn State jersey. He played too many games to redshirt. He had a good career there. I think he could have done more if the offense was built around his talents. I don't think it really showed the player that he can be, and I think that's why a lot of scouts are still pretty heavy on him for the NFL. But God bless. Hope he comes back bigger, better, and maybe even with a little chip on his shoulder.
Right. Yeah. No doubt this kid has talent. We've seen flashes of it, but like you said, it's just being in the right scheme at the right time, and all the stuff in between that. And it obviously it didn't fit him well, I don't think. So, other coaches that were let go as of Sunday evening. Oregon State, currently 0-7, let go of head coach Trent Bray. Bray was there for 2 years as a head coach and underperformed for them through 2024 and currently 0-7 with the Beavers there. He followed Jonathan Smith, who's currently at Michigan State. And I honestly don't see John Smith there too much longer either. But
nope.
Another head coach that was fired was Trent Dilfer out of Alabama Birmingham, UAB. He spent 2 years there as well, going 7 for 17 through his first 2.5 seasons. He started 2-4 this season. So, yeah, the Dragons haven't had a losing season since 2013. Granted, they had the 3-year stretch where they completely disbanded the football program through 2014, 2016, I think. But they haven't had a losing season in 10 years or 12 years, technically 9 years. And he loses he has 3 straight losing seasons for the UAB Dragons. So I think that's why they let him go. Other names that could be soon: Florida, Florida State, Wisconsin, Michigan. I think those. I'm not saying Sharon's going to get fired. So,
I don't think this year. No chance. I think maybe next year, or the year after, if he's not producing. But I think they're going to be a pretty good program next year. They're so young this year.
Yeah, but it's going to be crazy because as soon as one coach leaves to go to that school, that spot opens, and it's just a snowball domino effect, and it's going to get wild. We're going to see coordinators move up in the world really quick and get to show what they got. All right, let's get on to the AP poll top 25. A little bit of a change in the top 25 this time around. 1, 2, still Ohio State, Miami. Number 3, for the first time ever, Indiana moves into the 3rd spot. They were 4th a couple times, never been 3rd, 2nd or 1st. So they're number 3 right now, possibly looking at an undefeated season because I think they're going to be favored in their last 6 games. If everything goes according to you, they'll be 12-0 in the Big Ten Championship. Number 4, Texas A&M. Number 5, Ole Miss. Number 6, Alabama. Number 7, Texas Tech. First 6-0 start for them since 2013. That 2013 team lost 6 of their last 8 games. I'm not saying this Texas Tech team is going to do that, because this TTU team looks really good. It's not standalone in the Big 12 right now. Number 8, Oregon. They dropped 5 spots. They basically trade with Indiana.
Yep.
Number 9, Georgia. Number 10, LSU moves back into the top 10. 11, Tennessee. 12, Georgia Tech. 13, Notre Dame. 14, Oklahoma. They drop 8 spots. 15, BYU. 16, Missouri. They drop 2, losing to Alabama by 3. Vandy, Virginia, USF. 20, USC. Unranked to 20 for USC there after their Michigan win. 21, unranked Texas moves back in to the top 25. Number 22, Memphis. 23, Utah, back in to the top 25. First time this season, first time in 3 years actually, we have Cincinnati at 24. And around out our top 25, we have Nebraska. And what's crazy is it'd be nice if we could get these teams to like play each other to determine who's before who. Oh wait, Cincinnati and Nebraska literally played. We still have Cincinnati above Nebraska. Nebraska beat them earlier this season. Kind of weird that we have Cincinnati over Nebraska. But regardless, first teams out: Illinois, Michigan, Washington, UNLV, and Navy. UNLV and Navy are undefeated. Would you like to get in our top 10s, Jake?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Who you got? 1, Ohio State.
Yep.
2, Miami.
Yep.
3, Indiana.
Yes.
4, I have Texas A&M.
I have A&M.
5, Texas Tech.
5 is Bama.
5 is Bama. That's acceptable. 6, you have Texas Tech?
Yep.
6, I have Alabama.
7, I have Ole Miss.
7, Ole Miss. 8, Oregon.
Yes.
9, LSU.
Nope. I have Georgia at 9 and Texas Tech at 10. Or, I'm sorry, Georgia Tech at 10.
Okay. You had Georgia Tech at 10 last week.
Last week. I did.
Yeah. They look great. You know, didn't struggle this week. Played Virginia Tech at home. Got her done. I have 9 LSU, 10 Georgia, 11 Georgia Tech, right behind the top 10 there. So
I really don't have too many problems with the AP Top 25 right now. There's so many moving pieces with a lot of losses from ranked teams last week. I like USC moving up to 20. I could even see them going a little further here in the next couple weeks. Notre Dame at 13 is a little questionable with 2 losses, but 2 really close losses against some pretty good teams. So I kind of see it. Other than that, I think everything is just fine, and it's gonna play out. So
right, no huge issue this time around. And actually, Indiana got a first place vote. They got 3 first place votes this week. They haven't got a first place vote since 1967.
Wow,
They
that's
haven't
cool.
got multiple first place votes since 1945. 80 years since multiple first place votes for the Hoosiers. Deservedly.
Rightfully so.
So, first game of our recap here. Friday night, we had 2 group of 5 teams go at it. Defense was optional. I said that last Friday morning. So defense was probably going to be optional in this game. It definitely was. We had a 99 total score. Over-under was 66. 24 USF at North Texas. USF blows them out, 63-36. USF covers the 2.5 spread.
North Texas turned the ball over so many times. and it was as soon as I put money on them. Like it was like a drive later. The cookie crumbled. I just don't. I have the, the Midas touch. Everything you turn is to gold. I don't know what you would call everything you turn goes to poop. I mean, it's wild right now. It's a bloodbath.
Hey, at least we hit Missouri, right?
We did hit Missouri by half a point.
By half a point. Vegas had 3.5, 51.5. And they scored 51, and Missouri covered by 3. They hit that game on the nose.
I've always said if Vegas was an athlete, they would be the Michael Jordan or Tom Brady.
Oh, yes.
The greatest of all time.
Yes, absolutely. So how crazy of a game was this? You could have looked away for 7 minutes of game time and missed 42 points put on the scoreboard.
That's wild.
7 game time minutes, they scored 42 points. 6 touchdowns. I missed half of it. I missed 5 of those 7 minutes. I left at halftime to go down the road to get gas. Came back with 8 minutes left in the third quarter, and I missed 28 points in the third quarter to start the third quarter.
That's wild.
Yeah. But good for South Florida. We got another group of 5, possibly the greatest group of 5 game we'll have. This one coming up will be better than this one. We have number 19 USF currently. Who's to say what they'll be in 2 weeks, but USF at Memphis. Both of them top 25. Probably the biggest group of 5 game we've had since the Midwest Conference Championship last year, Boise State versus UNLV. That was for a playoff spot.
Yep.
And this one very well is probably going to be for a playoff spot as well. So let's move to Saturday, 12 o'clock. Pitt beats Florida State 34-31. Pitt covers a 13.5 spread. Number 25, Florida State, losing its 3rd game in a row.
Yeah, and that's what the halftime Hail Mary put in there, too.
Right. Yeah. Battle of I-75. Toledo 23, BGSU 28 wins the Battle of I-75 for the first time since 2019. Congrats to the Falcons there.
Falcons went down 21-zip and scored 28 unanswered. Just to be clear, just so everyone knows that.
They gave them 2 points at the end.
Yeah.
BG fought their way back all 4 quarters. That's why we play 4 quarters, not 1. So, first game we gave y'all, Alabama at Missouri. Bama takes this one, 27-24. Missouri covers the 3.5 spread. Alabama, 3rd straight ranked win in a row. Fun fact, Alabama, every team they've beat this season has been undefeated.
Yes.
2-0, 3, 4, 5, 6-0, Missouri. All down to 1 loss. Good for Bama. Are they back? Are they back, Jake?
I would most definitely say that they are back. They look like a really good team. They're rolling right now. Offense looks great. Defense is settled in.
Definitely. And you said that last Friday. You said they're finally discovering their identity on defense. They held Missouri to 1 for 11 on 3rd down. That doesn't win you football games.
No.
Doesn't. Ty Simpson looked good. Ryan Williams was even out. He was limited. Lingering injury from last game. Received 1 target. Didn't foot back in the game. So they were down their best wide receiver. They had 9 different people catch the ball. It was the all hands on deck for that Alabama team against Missouri. And they got it done. Sometimes that's what it takes. But Perbula threw the game-ending pick with 30 seconds left as Missouri was marching down the field to try and tie it up, I think. Who knows what would happen, what's going to happen, but yeah. Bama looks good. Bama looks good. Other 12 o'clock game, UCLA beats Michigan State 38-13. UCLA was a 7-point underdog. They cover the spread. this looks like a totally different team. Totally different offense under Jerry Neuheisel right now. Victor Formation's Coach of the Week. He goes back-to-back, put 42 up last week, 38 this week. Sadly, I think it comes to an end because they have one of the hardest remaining schedules left in college football. They got number 3 Indiana, number 25 Nebraska. They go to Ohio State. Then they host Washington, who is on the verge of being ranked. And they finish with USC, who look good. Good luck. Probably going to end the
that's
season
tough.
with
That's very
two
tough.
wins. It would have been a cool story if they made a bowl game after starting 0-4. But they're still going to be a 10-loss season.
Yeah, it's a lot to ask.
Yeah, it is. So game 3 we had for y'all, 3:30 o'clock. Texas versus Oklahoma, Red River Showdown. Texas takes it for the second straight year. Texas covers. Texas wins 26-6. What happens when you back a Longhorn into a corner, Jake?
Well, there's nowhere else to go, baby. They got a little pissed off and they took down the Sooners. Went right through them. Right through them. I mean, that game wasn't even... It was a ball game for a little while. But Mateer kind of cost the Sooners that one. Texas's defense was pretty damn solid.
Yeah, he was pressured a ton. I saw a stat. He completed 20 of his 38 passes. He was pressured on 21 passes, which is over 50% pressure.
And if you guys remember back to the preview between Texas and Ohio State, there was a key element to Texas that we haven't seen a whole lot of this year. And that is their defensive line. And they finally came out and showed what they were all about this weekend.
Very true. I think this coaching staff is very capable of bringing this team back, bringing this team to life. I mean, they're battling the mirror right now. That's all they're doing. That's all Texas is doing this year. You know, Arch Manning isn't who you want him to be, but I think you just got to accept that he's not going to be what you want him to be. But the defense is finally figuring themselves out.
You know, a lot of coaches say sometimes it isn't about the X's and the O's or the schematics or your game plan. A lot of the time it's about the Jimmies and the Joes. Okay? I think that's a little bit of what we're seeing with Texas right now.
100%. 100%.
Maybe Sark did lose that locker room for a little bit. Maybe he did. We don't know. But I think it's just the Jimmies and the Joes not getting it done.
I think so too. I mean, they're very, very capable. Probably one of the most capable coaching staffs, athletic staffs on the entire planet. I mean, they're fantastic there in Texas. They have everyone you need. With Sarkisian leading them. It was great. He was a great head coach. They're gonna be this is the team everyone thought Ohio State was gonna be, I think.
Yeah. I think you're generally right.
Multiple loss team, possibly, fighting to make the playoffs, squeaking a couple close games out, finally coming to life later in the season. Possibly. What did Ohio State do last year? Last game of the regular season, they lost. What did they do that nobody else did? Peaked in December. And that's all you got to do in college football. Make it to December and peak in December. That's all you got to do to win a national championship. Sounds easy, me saying you're saying that, but this Texas team is very capable of winning a national championship. They just got to peak at the right time. And, they kind of backed themselves into a corner, and now they got to fight their way out of it.
One more loss and they're done.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yep.
Especially with their strength of schedule not being entirely strengthy.
Yeah.
They have one of the easier SEC schedules remaining. But say South Carolina was in their position, and we're looking at the gauntlet they have to go through the next 5-6 games, they could very well be the first three-loss playoff team in the playoffs. If we see who they just played. Now, I don't think you can get away with losing to an unranked team, and of those, one of those being unranked. But
Yeah.
Number 4, fourth game of the weekend we had for y'all. 3:30 game, the big one. Number 7, Indiana beats Oregon at their place, destroying a 18-game win streak in Autzen. Indiana wins 30-20. Indiana covers 7.5. This game was not as close as the score showed. Indiana controlled the entire game. Looked like the better team.
They did. Dante Moore looked a little more human than he has in the past couple weeks. Really the whole season. Made some huge mistakes down the stretch that really cost Oregon the game. But the Indiana defense was fantastic. And if we, reverse back to the preview, the Into the Trenches episode of last week, when we were talking about Indiana and them being smaller and not as physical and didn't have the playmakers on the outside and all that good stuff, you can take that and throw that out the window at this point.
Right.
They are one of the most complete teams in all of college football, from their schematics into their Jimmies and the Joes. Fernando Mendoza is playing football right now. I mean, you look at him and you're like, how's this guy doing this? Like, he doesn't really look like he has the swagger, and he doesn't look like he's going to be the best quarterback on the field. But I hate to break it to you, he's probably going to be. Yes,
he is. He's our Heisman winner.
That back shoulder throw to Surratt at the end of the game was perfect. Big time players in big time games make big time plays.
That was a big time. Those were big players. That was a big game. He's our Heisman winner. It's done. It's over. He's going to be 12-0. He's going to be the Big Ten Championship. If he plays semi-decent in the Big Ten Championship against whoever, probably Ohio State, if everything goes according, there's nothing else left. They're going to have the Heisman decided by the playoff time.
Yep.
It's the Heisman winner. He's going to be 12-0.
It's going to be him or Ty Simpson if Bama rolls.
Right. I should say he will be a finalist. I can almost guarantee you that. He will be a finalist. If he keeps playing like he does. He doesn't have to play as good as he did the last 7 weeks. He can play slightly less than that. He can be 90% of what he was the last 7 weeks, and he'll be a Heisman contender. The kid's unreal. It's crazy. Came from Cal, transferred. Cignetti recruited him to Indiana. Now he's... Look what Cignetti just backed up what he said this morning about taking non-star players, finding what you need, finding what you want, finding what fits you, your program, your team, and turning them into something. I don't even think his plan was to turn him into a Heisman contender, but to fit his team perfectly, and that's exactly what Mendoza does. So, Victor Formation's Coach of the Week for Week 7, Curt Cignetti, 2-time. Week 4, now Week 7, Coach of the Week. First road win over an AP Top 5 team in school history, and Indiana is ranked 3 for the first time ever. Cignetti did that all in a year and a half.
Last year when he got to Indiana and he held that, what do you want to call it? Assembly, basically. A pep rally. Yeah, a pep rally.
Skull session for Indiana?
Yeah, it might have been a halftime of a basketball game or something like that.
Yeah.
And he said, Purdue sucks, and so does Michigan and Ohio State. And that immediately, as an Ohio State fan, is like, you know what, buddy? Welcome to the Big Ten. Right. Welcome to you're going to see what it's all about here. You're not James Madison anymore. You have half of James Madison coming to Indiana. What are they going to do? Right? Like how? And then you start watching him, and he's winning, and winning, and winning, and winning. I'm like, damn, I'm starting to respect this guy a little bit.
Yeah.
He's not like Dabo Swinney leading his team, running down the hill first like a dickhead. Like, he doesn't do that stuff.
Right.
But then he comes out and says, I win Google me. And then you're thinking to yourself, damn, I'm starting to like this guy a lot. I was starting to like him, and he said that, and then it turned me off a little bit. But if I'm an Indiana fan, I'm going, hell yeah, that's my coach. Right. That's my freaking coach. If I'm a player, I'm going, hell yeah, that's my coach.
Yeah.
He knows his value. He knows his shit. I want to play for that man.
He does. I mean,
and then
he called a shot, and he backed it up.
Yes, and then, he plays Ohio State and gets beat. He goes to the playoffs, which is a great accomplishment for Indiana to begin with. I mean, who would have thought? Nobody. And he gets beat. But they didn't look back. They burnt the boats. They burned them. They put them on fire, said, we're not turning back. We're going forward.
Yeah.
All hands on deck. Go grab the row. Go grab the oar. Let's start rowing this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're here. We're here now. And now you look at him, and he hasn't said, Google me. He hasn't said, Michigan and Ohio State suck. And now I'm back on the boat. It's like, damn, I like this guy. This is great for college football.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So, I'd like to say, hell of a job, Kirk Cignetti, going up there and getting that W in Oregon. That's a huge accomplishment. It's a great thing to build your program off of.
Truly is. It honestly scares me thinking about how good he could be in the next couple of years. Like, possibly national championships with an S. Like, that's what I see.
At Indiana.
Yeah. Like,
we're not talking, Indiana.
Yes. Yeah.
They might as well put the statue of him out in front of the stadium right now. Just put it out there.
Literally, they might as well. The only thing I can picture is him winning multiple national championships. I don't see anything less for him. He's 64 years old. Yeah, he's old, but I don't see anything less than at minimum one national championship wherever he goes. And I can see him just standing there with this grin on his face, watching the confetti rain down on him as his team's going nuts all over the field. And he's just sitting back. First 16-0 team, whatever. I can see it right now. It terrifies me as a non-Indiana fan. I mean, I don't hate the Hoosiers by any means. I've never disliked them. It'd be great for college football for that to happen. I see nothing less for them. So, after we got done riding Cignetti train for the last 40 minutes, let's get to our 3:30 slot here. Colorado upsets Iowa State. They lose their second straight unranked game in a row. Colorado covers 3.5. Iowa beats Wisconsin 37 to donut. Ooh, that's a gut punch. Wisconsin won't win another game this year. Iowa covers 5.5. Iowa put up more points in this game. Iowa, the most incompetent offensive team in the country, put up more points than Wisconsin has in the last 3 weeks combined. Wisconsin, 131st in points per game. 129th in yards per game. Yeah, we'll see you, Luke Fickle.
Yeah, Fickle is not going to be there much longer.
We'll see you. Texas A&M, 34-17 over unranked Florida. We'll see you, Billy. Allegedly. That's what the rumor says. 7:30 slot. Our 5th and 6th game. Number 5, we had number 10, Georgia, against Auburn, going into Auburn Stadium. Georgia wins 20-10. Georgia covers 3.5. Possibly the worst officiated game I've ever witnessed, laid my eyes on, and more in this game. Kirby Smart is a liar. He straight up liar. If anyone was neutral about this guy now, you are a dislike of this guy now. Because what was that? Hey, let's do the Kurt. I still have Kurt name in my mind. Let's do the Kirby Smart clap.
Yeah,
it's the new golf clap, Jake.
You gotta have dignity, man. You have
he is
to.
rolling with it. He is rolling with it 100%.
You don't live.
You don't lie.
You don't go about life, especially when there's cameras around. Especially when there's cameras around, lying to people.
No.
I mean, there's a really good book.
He's bought into his lie. He has bought into it. He doesn't believe it.
And that's the worst part. Like, people who lie a lot and lie continuously start to believe their own lies. Okay? Because they don't want to know the truth anymore. Because it still makes them feel like a shitty person.
Oh my goodness.
And when you are on TV doing a timeout signal, yelling down the sidelines, approaching a ref, saying timeout, usually you're trying to call for a timeout.
999 out of 1,000. You're calling
More.
Never been done in history where it hasn't been a timeout.
No. And the fact that you would ever say that you weren't calling a timeout is beyond me.
It'd have been one thing if he came out
because
he was like, "Yeah, I was trying to get away with it. I was trying to get a free
correct
stop." That would have been okay. Yeah, okay, Kirby. I see where you came from. You're trying to win the football game. All right, that's it. End of story.
There is a wise man in my life who told me at a very young age, the way you do one thing is how you do everything. The way you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you go and half butt your job, or half butt mowing the lawn, I'm trying to watch my French here. If you go and tell somebody, hey, I'm going to go do this, and then you only do half of it, that's not just saying, I'm only going to do half of this. You're saying that's how you're going to treat your life. And when you start lying to people, it's a very slippery slope. And I start to lose a lot of respect to you when you start lying. Yeah. Therefore, Kirby Smart, you're on my list. Okay? It's called the shit list. And I do not like people who are on my shit list. So I will not root for you anymore this year because the officiating was god-awful to begin with in that game. Jackson Arnold scored a freaking touchdown. I don't know how you don't call that a touchdown.
Yeah.
Secondly,
unreal. That's not even the worst part.
The fact that he got all of that shit in his favor and then proceeds to lie to deceive the refs even more is beyond me. And how the NCAA hasn't approached these referees, or the SEC hasn't approached these referees, saying, how do you not see that he's clearly calling a timeout? And how do you reward them this? Because Georgia had no business winning that football game. They were going to be down 17-0 at one point.
Yeah.
It's absolute bullcrap, and I feel so bad for Auburn because they lost another game early in the year because the refs completely screwed them. Completely. I think it was the Oklahoma game where the other team ran a deceiving play that is completely illegal. Oh, it's not illegal when you play Auburn, I guess. We can lie and get away with it when you play Auburn. We can review a touchdown, clearly a touchdown, and it's not a touchdown against Auburn. Like, I feel bad for Auburn, and I really hate Georgia for it now.
Yeah. It's actually mind-blowing. I'm glad you brought the NCAA and the officials up because it's mind-blowing how there is no punishment for them. It's a one-way street for punishment in this sport. And the SEC is a billion-dollar industry. The Big Ten is a billion-dollar industry. ACC, these conferences, this whole as a college football sport is billions of dollars, and it's entertainment, and we are still on a one-way street with who gets punished and who doesn't. There's no fairness. This is a game at the end of the day. This isn't the government where, like, it's a game. It should be played fairly. There shouldn't be ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a straight line. People pay to go to these games. They don't pay to see officials ruin a game for the team, let alone multiple for the same team. I feel terrible for Auburn fans right now. They pay money to go see their team get screwed by the refs. And This is the first time I have felt this passionately about officiating. Usually, oh, that was a bad call. You know, it affected the game a little, but at the end of the day, one play doesn't affect an entire game. Most of the time, that's my viewpoint. I usually jump ship pretty quickly. You know, one play affected the game, one call affected the game, but ultimately, you had 59 and a half other minutes to fix it. But this is unacceptable with how officials in the NCAA is treating teams right now, with penalizing them for coming out and speaking about the coaches. Coaches have to respond for their mistakes, their actions at the end of the game. Players have to respond for their mistakes and actions at the end of the game. Refs don't. They're on a flight halfway back to where they came from by the time the press conference is going on. Why don't they have to respond for their actions?
Why can't coaches talk about it? Like, why can't coaches talk about it? If you're a coach and someone asks you about, let's say, a certain play, you're allowed to voice your opinion. We live in America. We don't. Right. Why can't you say the referee screwed me?
Yeah,
They didn't even use baby oil.
Auburn.
They screwed me.
Did you see the Auburn AD getting backlash for him screaming at the refs going into halftime?
He should have.
Right. I would have done the same thing. That is acceptable for him to do that. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yes. I'm sorry for Auburn fans. Georgia had no business winning that game. They ended up winning. It just upsets me even thinking about it.
Yeah, it does. It does. But we can make this an hour-long thing right here talking about this. But we're going to move on for the sake of time, sake of y'all's time. So Georgia gets gifted another win. Auburn gets gifted another loss, if you call it a present. USC hosts number 15 Michigan. USC covers 2.5. USC wins this game 31-13. This is the best win for USC in a quite some time, I'd say. Quite some time.
I just want to put this out there. I did not lock Michigan. I don't know what you guys heard into the trenches. I didn't do that. So forget what you heard. We're moving on. That was the most pathetic amount of money. I shouldn't say it that way. That was the most pathetic team I've ever bet on, I think, ever. They're a way better team than how they played. I don't know what happened. But every time I touch something, again, I have the opposite of the Midas touch. They are just absolutely terrible. From every aspect of that game was absolutely terrible. I'm sorry for Michigan fans because that was hard to watch as a non-Michigan fan because I also had money on them, so I understood a little bit about how you were feeling during that game.
Yeah. Michigan's longest play, 13 yards. 13 yards. They lead the country. They were tied, actually. Tied for the most explosive team in America on the ground. Their longest play was 13 yards. They were 2 for 11 on third down. USC defense. Never thought I'd bring them together, but here we are. USC played defense. Good for them.
They played a lot of defense. Yeah, it was crazy.
Good for them. And now we're going to touch on the additional games, 7:30 or later. So we have number 9, Texas Tech, taking it to Kansas. Big 12 conference opponent. Texas Tech wins 42-17.
They're a fun team to watch right now. They're rolling.
Yes, very fun. Number 11, LSU beats South Carolina 20-10. Same thing with Texas. Very capable coaching staff. Very talented players. Aaron Anderson didn't play most of the game. They're number 1 wide receiver, but very, very capable group here. They're battling the mirror, just like Texas is. Number 18, BYU beats Arizona in double overtime to stay undefeated. Utah handedly takes care of Big 12 opponent. Number 21, Arizona State, 42-10. Arizona State had their backup quarterback.
Killed them.
killed them, to put it lightly. Unreal game. Utah, only team in the Big Ten, I think, that actually somewhat stands a chance against this Texas Tech Red Raider team. And we saw them earlier in the year play, and Texas Tech, no question, beat them.
Yeah, that was not a fun game to watch.
Chokehold. I think the Big 12 and the SEC swapped this year. SEC, no clear-cut number one, I would say. Alabama, if you had to put a number on them, they'd probably be one. But
yeah,
Texas A&M looks good. Oklahoma looked decent. Ole Miss, Georgia, hate saying that right now. That just aggravates me, saying that team right now.
Shit list.
Yeah. So I think that about wraps up our recap. That was a lot, Jake. Lot to go over there.
We
got it.
A lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff. Week 8 has a lot coming up for us too. So let's get into our player of the week. Week 7, Victor Formation's player of the week, DeMond Williams Jr., Washington's quarterback. 538 total yards, 4 touchdowns, 402 in the air, 136 on the ground. Great day from him. Washington Huskies quarterback, player of the week. Coach of the week, 2-time coach of the week, Kirk Cincinnati. We went over that earlier. Indiana's head coach. And then to wrap it up, our uniform of the week, Texas Tech. We said a lot of Texas today, but Texas Tech takes our uniform of the week. They changed their logo. We didn't really talk about that last Friday. They changed their logo. They're going back to the throwback logo that they had in the 60s or 70s or something. That's like a $500 million change for them. They have to change all the uniforms for all the sports teams, fields, school logos, whatever, stadium props they have, all that stuff. They have to change all of it. I think their football package alone was like $400 million to change the logo, which is astronomical.
Yeah, it's wild.
I didn't realize how much it cost to change something like that.
Yep.
But they had a throwback uniform to kind of bring out their logo change, which I thought was pretty sweet. And their uniforms are sweet. If you're watching, it's on the screen. If you're not, it'll be on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're on all 3 for social medias. If you're not following, if you're not liking, commenting, do it all for us, please. Helps us a lot. We just had a TikTok go crazy. 6,000 views. Why weren't you one of the 100-something people that liked it? Huh? Why not? Go follow. Go like. We're putting good stuff out there. People like it. It's pretty controversial, but people liked it. So go do that. We're on social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok again, and Spotify, YouTube for the podcast/show video. But do it all. We love you if you do. We don't if you don't. I think that's about it, Jake.
Yes. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you on Friday. Peace.
Peace out.